Hey, I am so excited about today. If I have not had a chance to meet you, please come meet me. I am Anna Hammonds with Unite Ellis, and this is one of my most favorite days of the year because all the fantastic people we get to work with in the network are all coming together in this room. And there are just so many amazing people. Like every city we go to, every event we go to, everything we're doing, there's just awesomeness. So I want y'all to know each other. So thank you for waiting in the long line for registration. Let's make it worth it for the badges that y'all just went through. So if you noticed, you have a color for your sector. So make it a goal to meet every person that has the same color as you. Oh, Michael didn't get it. Michael, okay, I'll go get it on the break. And then you have a name, of course, unless we ran out of stickers, and I apologize for that too. But then you might have a colored geography badge at the bottom. So make it your goal to go meet everybody in your city or your area, okay? So let's make it worth that long line. So if you've been to County Convene before, you know we normally start with what? Really bad jokes. Okay, y'all ready? They're slowly declining with every County Convene. Okay, let's get through this. Y'all know Michael Jackson's pronouns? Hee hee. Y'all know the difference in a good joke and bad joke timing? A dog that can do magic? Hold on, I had to think through this word. Labracadabrador. And then what did the janitor say when he jumped out of the janitor's closet? Supplies. Okay, yeah, thanks, okay. I actually had... that's totally a sympathy clap, y'all. I appreciate it. I actually had my best joke, and it's slightly PG-13, and I couldn't bring myself to say it up here, so if you want to know it, come see me afterwards, and I'll tell you on the side, okay? It's not rated R, but there's a lot of pastors in here, and I just couldn't do it. Okay, let's get a shout out from where y'all are at. So we're in Waxahachie, so we'll start here. If you identify with Waxahachie, if you're representing Waxahachie, let me hear from you. Okay, and just so you're thinking, you've got to pick one. I'm not going to do the county, so think about your closest school district, okay? So we'll go up to Red Oak. Do you represent Red Oak? Oh, okay. Ennis. All right. Ennis is always bringing it. Now you gotta beat that. Ferris. Palmer. Okay, that was good for three of you. That's good. Okay. Avalon.
Sure.
Oh! Did you hear her? She goes, sure. Dina, that was very kind of you to spread the love. I'm going to have more, so just you might keep your hand up. But Italy? Okay. Y'all are helping out. Milford? Okay. Midlothian? Oh! Maypearl? And I have to publicly apologize to Maypearl because I swear I printed off Maypearl stickers and they did not make it back there. So we do love you, Maypearl. We're glad you're here. Okay. Okay, did I get everyone? Red Oak, Waxahachie, Ennis, Midlothian, Maypearl, Ferris, Palmer, Italy, Avalon, and Milford. That's everyone. Okay, how about if you're outside the county? I mean, it was so bad. It was so bad. Okay, we're glad y'all are here. We're very excited you're here. Okay, quick overview of the morning. We're going to rapid fire updates at you. Be ready. Have a pen, have your paper. We will give you a chance to follow up on the things that we're going to be telling you. Keep your phones handy. All morning long, we're going to be throwing up QR codes. We're giving you permission to be on your phone, so keep your phones handy. And then the last hour, we're going to do speed networking. I'll explain that at the end, but we're going to be going around the room. So make mental note of things that you want more information on, and we'll give you that chance at the end. And I also know today is National Day of Prayer, so we specifically bumped this event up. So if y'all have a lunch you got to go off to, you can. Okay, y'all ready? Wow. Are you ready? Okay. All right. If you are new, is anyone here first time ever to County Convene? Yes, I'm so glad you're here. Let me tell you about Unite Ellis. This is our third year. Long story short, I won't get into all the history, but basically this was kind of a grassroots effort that started pre-COVID, John Maxwell teams, Waxahachie Project, Midlothian Project. COVID happened. Then we said, what are we going to do? We did research, and then we came out with this idea. And so then what we did is we established a relational infrastructure. The full first year and a half, we said, we want to be able to identify the needs and connect them to people who want to meet the needs. Okay, that is bottom line what we're here to do. We're collaborators, we're networkers, and we want everybody sitting at the table. I always say that my job is to get the right people in the right seats at the right table. So if we're talking about something in a content area, are we bringing everyone together? So the first year and a half, we spent establishing a relational infrastructure. So what we did is we divided the county up into 10 geographic zones, which were those zones I called out earlier, and they're consistent with our 10 ISDs. Okay, so within those zones, we've established network teams. And those network teams, we always make sure that we're focusing cross-sector. So our 5 sectors are nonprofits. Let me hear you, nonprofits. That was a little unfair because I started with the largest group. But then we have faith. It's National Day of Prayer. Y'all should have some in you. So government. I'm sorry. Everybody else is like, our businesses, okay, and then our education system. Woo, we encourage you. So, okay, so those are our sectors. So in every area, we're focusing to make sure that we have all those sectors together. Why? Why do we need to make sure that we have our sectors together? Because if we're functioning in a silo, if as nonprofits we're trying to get big systematic changes done, we have to be talking to our counterparts in our other sectors. We need our businesses to connect with our churches or our social services. We need our government tied in to what is going on the social services level. We need to be supporting our educators. Are you with me? It is very important that we are connecting all 5. And if we function in a silo and don't know those pieces of our communities, we're only going to make it so far, and we want to go way farther, okay? So the other areas that we function within are our content areas. We're going to go back to the other slide. Okay, so our content areas are going to be things like what's around the room. So when we have a conversation around food insecurity, who do we talk to in the county? We need to be able, at a drop of the hat, bring those people together. We also have established mental health. We have a mental health team that meets on a monthly basis. We have a housing and homelessness team that meets on a monthly basis. So those 2 areas, very early on, when we started saying, hey, let's work in our community, those 2 areas, mental health and housing and homelessness, rose to the top so fast. So we were like, okay, I'm not a mental health organization. I'm not a housing organization, but we can convene. We can bring the people together and help motivate and push the topic forward, okay? So we have geography, sector, and content areas, and you overlay that over all the regions, and you have that in a county, and then we do awesome things. Okay, so that's Unite Ellis. We're here to find the needs and find the people who want to meet them. Y'all with me? Okay, so today we are going to be going over a whole bunch of C's. C. I started off with 5 C's because who doesn't like a good alliteration? And by the end of it, I actually ended up with 7 C's. Are y'all impressed? Whew. I know y'all are like, good grief, how long are we gonna be here? But we're gonna go through this quickly. And my first C that I'm going to talk about is Chris. Chris, so as we talked about earlier, so I serve as the county champion in this relational infrastructure. We have city champions over those 10 zones. We have champions over the sectors, over the content areas, and so forth. So at the drop of a hat, we can deploy anything going on. We can deploy a network because we have champions over these areas. Chris, though, in January, came on as my co-county champion. So he's my right-hand man, Batman and Robin. What else are we? Like peanut butter and jelly?
Rick and Morty?
Rick and Morty? No, we have a Rick and Morty, yeah. So we are hand in hand. And if you've seen anything as far as graphics, our website, any of that kind of stuff that looks really great, that's totally him. So I'm gonna hand it over to Chris so he could chat with you real quick. And this is our first C, Chris.
Oh, sorry.
Well, I am so happy to be here. Who picked up a candy this morning? All right. If you haven't opened it, now would be a great time to open it because, spoiler alert, it's more than just a chocolate. And that's actually a little bit about what we're going to talk about today. All right. We're going to be talking about your ticket to a golden future. Your ticket to a golden future. Now, one of my favorite movies growing up was Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, 1971 film. Anybody see that? Who here loves that movie? I love that movie. In my opinion, Gene Wilder's the best Wonka, hands down, but it's all good if you have a different opinion. So, Charlie Bucket is kind of really the main star of the film. The whole story is really about him. And he grew up very, very poor. And the reason why I liked the 1971 film, because it really portrayed his situation accurately. The Bucket family, they could barely make ends meet. Dad was gone, 2 sets of grandparents were sickly and bedridden. To this day, I don't know how they fit 4 adults in one bed for years on end and nobody killed each other. But it happened. Mom was out all hours working just to afford housing and bills. She mentioned that medicine was super expensive for these bedridden adults. And even Charlie worked. And without him, they couldn't even afford bread. You remember him bringing home that loaf of bread on his birthday? And without that, they just would have had cabbage soup. I understood Charlie when I was younger. My dad wasn't around. My mom couldn't afford basic necessities because the state of California deemed her mentally unfit to work. Because of this, I was both neglected and abused. And what the food lines at the time couldn't provide, my siblings and I scrounged around in dumpsters to get. If we couldn't find it in the dumpsters, we would steal it from the grocery store across the street. That was kind of the upbringing that I had growing up. So my brother and I, we fantasized about how do we escape this reality. And this was my idea of a golden ticket. This is little Chris. Little Chris became very big Chris. And at the time, when I was in love with Willy Wonka, I was also in love with Ninja Turtles. Anybody feel me on Ninja Turtles? Love me some Ninja Turtles. So my brother and I, we devised a plan. And my dream toy was to get this pizza shooting Ninja Turtle van. All right, that was my dream. And I knew that I would never get this van that shot pizzas at people. So my brother and I decided we were gonna build our own sewer racer. That's what we called it, a sewer racer. And because we had a healthy obsession, not addicted, but healthy obsession with Ninja Turtles, And the thought of the lifestyle was just more appealing than our own, so we made plans to emulate them. Now, let me tell you about this sewer racer. It was amazing, all right? All right, it would have room for 2 people to move around freely. All right, it could travel through the big tunnels of the sewer system at lightning speeds when necessary. All right, so if the Foot Clan was after us, zoom, we were out of there. All right, and if we laid on our backs, like, it would go Transformer style and like shrink down and go elongated and get through all the smaller tunnels. And of course, like good Ninja Turtles, there'd be enough room for snacks and pizzas to last us several months until we restocked. I admit it was a foolish dream, but it was our foolish dream. All right, it was our escape, our golden ticket to a better life. Now, we all know what happens in the movie. Wonka, he has this contest about, hey, I'm gonna have these 5 golden tickets, buy chocolate, find the golden tickets. And I love the movie and the montage of, everybody trying to find it. My favorite scene of that whole movie is, woman, she's sitting in the living room with the officer, and he's a negotiator, and her husband's been taken, and the negotiator's just like, hey, miss, if you give this guy your last box of Wonka bars, he'll release your husband. She says, can I think about it? That's how much people loved Wonka's chocolate in that movie. All right? And as the montage progresses, we see all these children who already have everything that they could ever want. All right, remember Veruca Salt? And like her dad was like, I'm gonna leverage my company and buy everything that I can just so she can get her golden ticket. All right, we would call those kids spoiled. In the movie, they call them bad eggs. All right? But then there's Charlie. He wanted a golden ticket more than anyone. He couldn't buy 1,000 boxes of chocolate, but every spare coin he could find, he'd buy a bar with it. And the reason he wanted the ticket was the same reason my brother and I wanted a sewer racer relief. Charlie knew the golden ticket was more than just some clever marketing. It was a way out of his situation, even if but for a moment. Now, the scene that actually emotionally grips me every time I watch this, I probably watch this movie about once a year. It's when he's lost all hope, the last ticket's been found, he sees in the gutter that coin that he did not earn, picks it up, goes into the candy store, grabs a piece of chocolate, and he's like scarfing it down. And he's like, hey, I got enough, let me buy one more. And he goes out, and the newspaper stand, they're like, oh, the last golden ticket is a fraud, is a fake. And he's like, oh my goodness, I still have a chance. And then he opens up his chocolate, just a little bit at a time. And you start to see the glow of the gold on his face, and he gets super excited, and he's just like, I got it, and everybody's freaking out, like, oh my goodness, yes. And the newspaper stand's like, run home, go to your family, you just won, you just got the thing that you've been dreaming for. Sometimes that's all we can provide to people in crisis is momentary relief. Does it break the cycle of poverty? Not usually. Will these people have to go back to a harsh reality after the reprieve? More than likely. But at least we gave them a moment. But what about Charlie? If you've seen the movie, you know that he got more than a moment. By the end, he was given the whole factory. So what was the key that unlocked the prison of cyclical poverty for Charlie? It's the same one that we use to help others unlock their prison doors. And that key, super simple, is called relationship. The golden ticket was only a momentary handout at first. But what really changed Charlie's life was when Wonka gave himself. That's when he experienced permanent transformation. In the new Wonka movie, who's seen the new one with Timothée Chalamet? Honestly, great. I love all the callbacks to the original movie. The ending shows him opening a bar of chocolate from his deceased mother. And when he opens it, after years of saving it, he sees this golden ticket with the message that reads, "It's not the chocolate that matters, it's the people you share it with." It's not the chocolate that matters, it's the people you share it with. Wonka's mission was making chocolate. Everybody knew his mission. The chocolate cartel was after him to try to keep him from fulfilling his mission. But the mission paled in comparison to the relationships that formed around him. Sometimes we get so missional minded that we forget to be relational. The mission is great. We need the mission. The mission is why we're gathered today. I love all of you because you just want to serve. Everybody in this room is here because they say, I want to be a part of making Ellis County great. You know, let's get them saved. Let's get them fed. Let's get them in our stores. Let's give them a place to live. Let's get them educated. These are all amazing things. Just remember, the golden ticket is just momentary relief at first. The rental assistance, the mental health resources, the dollars in your organization's budget or the skills of your staff. The real golden ticket at the end of the day is you. You're the golden ticket. You are someone else's path to transformation. Repeat after me. I am the golden ticket for somebody else.
I go out to the speakers.
When you open up your chocolate, that's what you're going to find is a note that reads, I am the golden ticket for somebody else. That may be your spouse, it may be your children, but I also understand that we all have spheres of influence, and so we have to sometimes go beyond our family to those that don't have families. Why is this so important? As a child, I dreamed of a sewer racer, but as a preteen, I wised up. The sewer racer would never be a reality for me. My brother, he gave up on the idea of escaping, so I formed my own plans. Disclaimer, I had a messed up childhood, remember? And so I did some messed up things. But it's important for you to know some of the things I did so you understand the transformation that occurred. So as a preteen, I faked being crippled for 6 months to escape school. True story. You're probably looking at me like, why are we having this guy as a guest speaker? Transformation, people, it exists. I conned my way into a mental hospital for weeks on end because they had 3 meals a day and a Super Nintendo. I mean, why wouldn't that be attractive to a preteen boy in the 90s, right? I even burned down my house hoping my life would finally change. All of this just in the span of being a preteen. And so nothing changed despite these extreme measures of me trying to change my situation. I was still poor, I was still angry, I was still isolated. We had very good people try to help my family and me. Very good people. Relatives, churches, CPS, counselors. To this day, I still have very high views of these people. But all of them could only provide momentary relief. After a tumultuous junior high experience, I found my first golden ticket. 8th grade, I met Luke Smith, and his family unofficially adopted me as part of their own. His dad, he taught me work ethic. His mom taught me how to cook. If you've eaten some of my food, you can thank my friend's mom who taught me how to cook. All right? She was awesome. Like Wonka to Charlie, they gave themselves to me. It wasn't just, hey, here's a place for you to hang out. Hey, here's a meal. They literally became like my adopted parents. And it made a huge difference. I also have my wife. I call her my half Japanese, half Texan gourmet blend. All right? She is very Japanese until she needs to be very Texan. And usually her Texas side comes out when I'm acting like a fool. I'm just like, yes, ma'am. She was the best golden ticket I ever experienced. She was the one that said, I'm going to be Chris's golden ticket. And I would tell her that all the time. I would sing this song, I've got a golden ticket. And then she would kiss me and I said, I have a golden chance to make my way. And like, it just became this like little thing that we did because I was so appreciative of what I experienced as part of that relationship. With her came her parents who mentored me spiritually. They helped me choose a new path of freedom. And it was a path that I no longer had to live out of my trauma, but as an overcomer. And when I look back, I think of the many golden tickets in my life, the people who gave themselves, and as such, I learned to do the same. I've been mentoring kids and adults for the last 15 years. In fact, I love Mentors Care, and I was able to mentor a high school kid for 3 years, and we still talk to this day, even after graduation. We have lunch probably every couple of months. So my question to you is this. To who in your sphere of influence can you be a golden ticket? Relationships are messy. They take time. And honestly, they sometimes hurt. We get betrayed. We get dragged through the mud. And you can't be everything to everyone. But each of us can at least help one. Give ourselves to one. Get in the trenches with one. In closing, I'll say this. If you can go beyond the momentary relief to give of yourself, take the risk to do it. You won't have just touched a person's need, you'll have touched their heart. And that's where permanent transformation starts to take place. Thank you.
Good. Oh, that was good. Do y'all receive that you're someone's golden ticket? Just imagine the ripple effect of just the number of people in this room. And then I know that y'all are empowering other people to be someone else's golden ticket. So the ripple effect across our county is endless. So thank you, Chris. That was a good word. Okay, so now we are going to this is our rapid fire section. So are y'all ready? Okay, so our next C is CarePortal. If you've talked to me for any amount of time, you know that I love CarePortal. The CarePortal, amazing CarePortal guys even got me a shirt. It was a little small, trying to lose weight to get in it, but I got my t-shirt and I'm very excited. Okay, so CarePortal is the software that we have embraced and we have the goal of rolling out across the entire county. It is a software that started with CPS and DFPS, Department of Family Public Service, Protective Service. Yeah, they put needs, and we're talking basic crisis situation needs into the software. When the needs go in, it then sends it out to a radius of people that have signed up for free to receive the requests. Okay, so just this year, from January 1 to now, the people that we've had in CarePortal, they were, back the other way. Do you got it? Okay, nope. One more. It's going to be children and students, single moms, grandparents raising grandchildren, domestic violence victims, homeless, and then people in transitional housing situations. Those are the people that we've actually served just this year. The types of things, I went through all the lists. These are the types of things that it has been for the next slide. Bed frames and bedding, furniture and appliances, clothing, vehicle repairs, home repairs, tons of backpacks, rent and bill assistance, food, groceries, hotel stays, baby supplies, gas cards, prepaid phone cards. So what happens is say CPS goes into a home and they either need to remove a child and place them with a relative, for example, and the relatives have to have certain things in order to receive the child. Or maybe in order for them to not be removed from the home, they have to hit certain things. Or maybe it's another situation like from the Heights. The Heights is a big partner of ours with a domestic violence, our domestic violence organization here. Maybe it's someone fleeing a domestic violence situation and they have nowhere to go. We all of a sudden somehow got into the furniture business real quick when you have a woman needing to get into an apartment to flee a situation and she has nothing. The community comes together really quickly to go find some pots and pans and some furniture, right? So that's the point of this. So First Look is an entering agency, our pregnancy clinic. They have a client come through and maybe it's a young teen mom and she's about to have a baby and she has nothing. She's focused on trying to pay her apartment at least for next month, much less diapers and all the junk that comes with babies, right? They put that into the CarePortal system. It's emailed out to a radius of people, and we might have 5, 6, 7 different entities, churches, businesses, individuals, all come together, and one will say, hey, I've got the baby diapers. Another will say, I've got the crib. Another will say, I've got blah, 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 blah. So it's literally our way to work together. There's a vetting process of the need getting vetted before it goes into the system. And then it's our way to make sure we as a community are meeting those needs. So last year, we piloted this system by adding Red Oak ISD as one of our entering agencies. So the entire ISD, all the counselors on every school campus were trained on CarePortal and to enter the need. So so we were like, let's try it out. And so last year, Chris, if you'll show those numbers. So last year, we had 7 requesting agencies. So these are the agencies that can put needs into CarePortal. So that's CPS, DFPS. Red Oak ISD was new. That was the one we're piloting. We have the Heights, Domestic Violence, First Look, Pregnancy Clinic, the Homeless Coalition, and then Freedom, communities. Yeah, see, it always like spit out an acronym, CF4K. It's basically the organization over CarePortal that if there's a request that we have that doesn't fall into one of those agencies, we put it through that organization. So those 7 agencies we're putting into CarePortal. We had 36 responders, that's what I call them. They have a different language if you talk to CarePortal. So 36 churches or businesses or individuals that were receiving the needs. We met 49 requests last year. Our response rate was 69% of them were met. I didn't do the math on the average days open, but that's one thing we're tracking. We had an economic impact of $66,326 and 514 children were served. That was last year. So before you go on, Chris, so we saw that and we're like, okay, we can do this. So we have the goal of, just like Red Oak ISD, rolling out that CarePortal software into all 10 of our ISDs in the county. So imagine every school counselor at all 56-ish campuses, school campuses in our county, who interact with the children and the families daily, who know better than many of us of what's going on in those lives. Imagine them having this access to the system. And then imagine all of us in the community going, hey, I can sign up for free to see what's going on right here in my own city. I can go get a bag of diapers. I can go get some formula. I can help provide the living room furniture that I'm about to donate to a local organization to give to that domestic violence victim. We can do this together. So this year, let me tell you the stats of just from January 1 today. So next slide. So we still have the 7 requesting agencies. We have 41, so we've added officially 5 new churches. We have 44, so we've almost met the same amount of requests that we did all of last year. We've done that 44 just this basically first quarter at a 94% response rate. So 2 of my own personal goals is I wanted, after I saw our response rate last year, I was like, well, we need to go 75. We need to make 75%. No request should go unmet. Well, now we're at 94. It has become a game to me, y'all. That request goes in, I'm like, okay, let's, who's gonna go to, and making sure, did you see this request? We gotta get in. You know what I mean? It is so fun to watch the requests go in, and then these people start responding. It's so cool. Our average days open, I was able to track it for this quarter, was 5. So that means on average, it took us 5 days to close the request. Some of those days were 1. The request went in and it was gone the same day. The Heights knows that I competed with them one time. Where's Erica? Yeah, there we go. I walk into her office and she's putting a CarePortal request in. And I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm putting her CarePortal request in. I'm like, oh, what is it? And so she tells me it was a woman that was getting out of a domestic violence situation. For this situation, they were going to house her in a hotel for 21 days. The woman was going to pay 7 days, the Heights was going to pay 7 days, and they were putting into CarePortal the opportunity for someone to cover the other 7 days. And I said, let's play a game and see if I can get the request met before you hit enter into the system. I call before I even get to my car, a local organization. She says yes. I call Erica back and said, it's met. And it was done. They were like coming over with the credit card to pay or however they did that. They took care of that. And it was done. So it's those kind of things. And they were excited. They're like, yes. And so what I have found with this software is there are so many people that are like, I want to meet the need. I want to help in the community. I just need to know how. I'm a part of my church and I want to serve at the grassroots crisis intervention basic needs level, but I don't know how to get there. This is how we get there. And we're talking hierarchy of needs pyramid here. We're at ground level here, y'all. So this is how we do it. So 38,000 economic impact just this quarter, 178 children served. Next slide will show you the things that I am hoping that we accomplish. These are the responding agencies. So find the city that you're representing and listen to me. We have the goal of by each city having a certain number of churches or businesses or individuals that are signed up to receive for free, signed up to just receive the request and ideally meet some of the requests. Waxahachie, we have a goal of 10. We currently have 7. Midlothian, 10. We currently have 7. Red Oak, goal of 8. Currently have 12. Thanks to Ovilla. Ovilla, I was counting you in Red Oak, but I may send you over to Midlothian every now and then. Ennis, goal of 8, active 5. Ferris, 5, goal of 5, active 1. Palmer, 4 and 1. Maypearl, 3 and 0, but we're in the process for some. And then Avalon, Italy, and Milford, 4 to 2. So find your area, and if you belong to a church, please start that conversation to get your church online to receive those requests. Our goal is to roll this out in the other 9 school districts. It does cost for a school district to come online. Sorry. And we at Unite have the goal of paying for that. We don't want anyone to have to mess with the school budget. I'm not messing with school budgets, y'all. So I want to be able to go to, and we're talking to our ISDs to say, hey, we want to bring this into your ISD. We need your counselors on board. Do not let cost be to stop it, but let's do this. And then we're also tracking that percentage and how long it takes us to meet the request. Okay, do y'all get that? Was that all clear? Whew. We do have a CarePortal table right there. And then Alon, raise your hand. Come on. And Raymond, back there. Those are your CarePortal guys. They're amazing. Okay, let's do the next slide, and I'll tell you about this.
So, what's wrong? I turned on the water, and he just fell apart.
What's your emergency?
I need you to help my mommy. He's doing something bad to her.
Give me my money!
I need you to help my mama!
I
feel like I'm the only one who sees these things. The Department of Protective Services can't stop this, and we need your help.
Desperately holding on. Mama left us without warning.
I want to love like Mama did.
Adoption? How we gonna do this with all we got already going on?
Can you imagine LaDonna or Prince on their own if nobody took them in?
Wait for the day to come.
I think they're here.
Are you sure these people want us?
Oh, sweetheart, I know they do.
Time to carry
The other night, my new son was terrified of the hot water.
on. I will carry
Church, it's time that we put our eyes on the children.
to the dark, to the light.
Religious guilt can't fix a broken child's heart.
Love can.
Please don't give up on me.
We got over 20 families that want kids.
Whole town wants kids now.
There shouldn't be a child without a home. We can turn this whole thing around.
Time to carry
And then the kids started coming with stories that just tore at your insides.
We're doing something almost nobody else would. We're family. It's time that we do this together, church.
What's happening with Possum Trot has the attention of the state.
I am beautiful. I am strong.
You were a gift, and you were only ever meant to be loved.
Hey, I'm Letitia Wright, executive producer of Possum Trot, a powerful and beautiful new movie from Angel Studios. Come and be inspired by the families of Possum Trot who adopted these children to help give them a future and a hope. You can get your tickets at angel.com/Possum Trot. Only in theaters, July 4th.
So CarePortal and Angel Studios, also linked to The Chosen, they came together to produce this movie, all around raising awareness around vulnerable children, foster and adoption, and just like what we're talking about here, a community coming around children. They have this movie completely funded. Every ticket, the ticket sales are going to help vulnerable children and families. Okay, I looked over and Alon's eyes were this big, so I was like, oh wait, I didn't say that right, hold on. So what we're wanting to do is push the movie out and encourage those. So on the left, the QR code is to actually host a private screening. This movie comes out in July, so they're pushing ticket sales between now and July, pre-sales, but then also hosting a private screening. If you want to do this with your church, your entire community, the county, you can have a private screening with the QR code on the left. Okay, isn't that cool, y'all? Like, this is some crazy awesome stuff that they're starting to do in the arts and theater world, so it's very cool. The QR code on the right is your link to CarePortal. So if you want more information, you hit that QR code and then also go see the CarePortal guys over here at the table. Okay, next, C. CharityTracker. Okay, another thing out of a lot of conversations the last year or so, we've had a lot of conversations with nonprofits who are saying, we have to know what we're doing together. We have to know what each of us is doing. We need to know, like if Joe Smith walks into one organization and gets bill assistance, and then they walk into another organization and maybe they get tangible help or clothing, and they walk into another organization to get something else. Right now, we're all in silos, and we may not know that Joe Smith had to go to 3 or 4 different agencies to work together. So over many months now, we've been working with CharityTracker. We've been researching, we're about to roll this out. CharityTracker is a client database, a CRM, where about 12 or 13 of our major nonprofits in the county are all going to CharityTracker. They can share information between each other. There's a whole bunch of release forms they signed and all that kind of stuff. We've taken care of all of that. But they can share information, they cannot share information, they can refer between the agencies. There's bed management, which I know our homeless team is very excited about because we're constantly going, okay, where do we send this person? What's open? I don't know, what do we do with this person? There's all this information in there to tighten in our nonprofits and our social services to work together. So that's one thing we're very excited about, and if you're one of those 10, 11, or 12 agencies, I'll actually be touching base with you next week about rolling it out. So that's CharityTracker. Our next C, I think it's you, Chris, communications.
Yeah. So as Anna mentioned earlier, I came on in January, and I had just finished my tenure as a pastor in Midlothian, and I was just kind of taking a sabbatical. And about midway through January, Anna was just like, hey, since you're not doing anything, come on and work with Unite. And at the time, I was a city champion for Midlothian and building a freelance marketing business. And we were having some conversation early on. It's just like, okay, so we have all this stuff, and this amazing infrastructure has been relationally built. You guys represent a lot of coffee meetings, so that's awesome. And we want you guys to continue to have those coffee meetings. We would love to have more coffee meetings with you. But then we had the questions of like, we need more streamlined communications, because I don't know about y'all, but I get email fatigue hardcore. If I see a thread that has 20 messages in it, I skim through and probably miss about half. I'm just being real, All right, so we were like, how can we streamline these communications? And so if you want to scan that QR code, you can look at our link tree. We have a brand new website. We're now on Instagram, on YouTube. We started a podcast last month, and we're going to be releasing new episodes monthly and interviewing leaders around the county to share the success stories and the challenges. And so stay tuned with that. And so we're trying to like get the word out more efficiently, more dynamically. And so that started with our new website. And so that's our homepage. And then it'll show you like lots of different information. We have our CarePortal stats up there, as well as some of the programs we offer. You can sign up for our newsletter. You can sign up for all of our stuff. You can see the sponsors. And then you can also donate. If you're like, you know what, I want to be one of those people that contributes to like schools not having to pay for CarePortal, you can donate as well. Then on our About page, those are all of our monthly meetings. And so just let us know if you want to make those. We have, a Waxahachie team meeting that meets monthly. We have our mental health. Where's my mental health people at? Mental health? Yeah. All right, we have a mental health meeting that's coming up here in just a couple of weeks. And so look at our website and stay involved. Our podcast is on YouTube and Spotify. You can also find it on Amazon Music. And so then we have commissioned this. Yes, lots of C's. C commissioned. All right, so at this time, I'm gonna get you guys to hold your phones just a little bit. All right, a lot of speakers don't get you guys to do this because people assume you're texting or scrolling Facebook. But I'm gonna get you guys to download the commissioned app. All right, it's on Apple or Android device. And as you guys download that commission app, this is going to be our primary communications tool moving forward. So we're starting the rollout now, getting you guys download the app, sign up, create a profile, and essentially it has the functionality of all this stuff. So like where you would use X to, create really abrasive political texts, you can do that with us. No, we want you to be kind. I'm just kidding. All right, has the functionality of Facebook. We have groups. We have private subgroups. Once you create your profile, you can request to join a subgroup. So Palmer, we just had them coming up, and we had a meeting yesterday, and we're like, okay, so you're gonna have a code, and those codes can be found at the check-in table. And like for Palmer, it's UE24 Palmer. All right, for Midlothian, UE24 Midlothian. For housing, UE24 housing. And so when you go to join that subgroup, you'll put in that code, and then we'll let you into that private group where you can network, you can work on projects, you can collaborate like on Slack. We have Eventbrite. Event management is built into the app. Reddit, WhatsApp, LinkedIn. It's got so much functionality. And our goal, this is a lofty goal. Are you ready for this? By August, we're going to be email free. That's the goal. That's the goal. That's the goal. But we're going to be working with you guys through it. Ask questions. Let me know. If I don't have the answer, Jonathan on the front row does. He's the lovely gentleman in the glasses. Thank you guys so much for coming. Just give a round of applause for our DFW team. You guys are awesome. This whole row. Recently married, Rebecca, thank you for coming. Bill, David, all you guys. But we have our commissioned app. So request to join that subgroup. You guys can get up to date on all the stuff that's happening within Unite Ellis. We have, all right, clicker works. There we go. Sorry. So follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook, follow us on Spotify and on YouTube and all those things, and you can get everything Unite Ellis. Stay in contact with each other. Big thing we say network density. That means you guys get to know us, but you also get to know each other. The first word of social media is social. All right, so be social online. We want you to be social. So our next C is our campaigns, and so Anna's going to come up and talk about that.
Okay, so real quick, back on commission, this was out of response of our network team saying we have to have a better way to communicate. So even if it, like in our Red Oak team meetings, they're like, well, whenever there's, community events or a pop-up pantry or whatever, like how are we communicating with each other as well, with not only, the network team, but other people in Red Oak. This is our answer to that. So being able to function within your networks, but also bringing things on a larger scale as well. So hang in there with us, help us, make it successful, and I think we can get there. Email free by August. We'll see how that goes. That would make my life very, very great. Okay, next C, campaign. We are planning to push out a Get Help, Give Help campaign. Okay, in the past, we have been getting our social services to enroll. If people need to get help, they enroll in Help Finder, and then Give Help is whenever we have, which we've had a lot of this, people come and say, I want to volunteer. How do I get involved? Outside of just, the network meetings, like in the county, how do I get involved? Are you stuck, or you want me to keep going? Is it not? Okay. So Get Help, you go to helpfinder.com. Most of our social service agencies know this, that you need to be up on that. Give Help, though, our social services, if you have volunteer opportunities, we are pushing to VOMO. There's so many, Danny, my husband, and I always laugh about our kids. There's like all these new, like there's Zip Zaddle and Seesaw and like all these different platforms that we have to use. Sorry, we have a lot of platforms as well. But VOMO is our volunteer platform as a county. So Meals on Wheels is on there. Mentors Care is on there. We want to get more and more going to where when someone says, hey, how do I get involved in the community? How do I volunteer? We're going to point them to VOMO. And when we feel confident that we have all of this populated in a certain area, then we're going to push out a campaign, like a marketing campaign across the county around that. So make sure you have that going, and we'll bring up the QR codes whenever Chris gets this working again. Okay, I'm going to skip 1C until he gets that working. COPE is who in here's been to COPE? Okay, some. We've got more that need to come. So we are going to be hosting COPE, our Cost of Poverty experience. What this is it's going to be September 27th. Does that sound right, Bill? Yeah, we'll go with that. September 27th, actually right here in the same area, the Cost of Poverty experience. This is a live simulation of the very things we've been talking about, the cycle of poverty. So you have resource tables around the room. You're given very real, actual situations from real people, and then you have to go work the room like a game of life. So for example, have you ever thought, oh, there's VOMO. Let me back up. This is VOMO. So scan here. If you're social services, you'll see that's what the site looks like, where people are like, how do I get involved? Oh, go right here. Pause for reflection. Just added some. I had a couple people emailed me this week some opportunities, and we'll get those loaded. So if you have an opportunity for volunteering, please scan that and send it to me so I can get that uploaded. Okay. Are y'all okay? Okay. Oh, cost of poverty. You're tracking with me. Thank you. This is cost of poverty. It is September 27th. Mark your calendar. This is the registration for it. Okay, back to the situation. Have y'all ever thought about being homeless, wanting to get on your feet, and you don't have a driver's license? What are you going to do? You're going to go apply for the driver's license, and then you have to put a mailing address down. Where are you going to mail it to? But you need the driver's license to get any government assistance. You need all of that, or maybe it's to get your birth certificate. Well, you need those things in order to get the job or the apartment. Oh, and the apartment, of course, you have to have 3 times the rent amount coming in every month, plus your deposits. I mean, have you ever thought about that? The vicious cycle of people just around important documents is pretty terrible. We have organizations like Ennis Care and our homeless coalition who are rock stars at this, where like Ennis Cares has a P.O. box that they use just for people like this, where they can use a P.O. box as for all their important paperwork. And this takes like weeks, if not months, right? I'm looking for Kristen, right? Yeah, Kristen's way back there. It takes a long time. So even if today they were like, I want to get my life in order, well, it's not like it's going to happen tomorrow. It goes back to that relationship of people where you've got to work through this. So cost of poverty experience is like a live play out of that, and I highly encourage every one of you to come. Ellis County, we are going to host this once for the whole county, but we have hospitals, school districts, major companies that host it all the time for their own organizations. So if you want more information, the cost of poverty experience table is over there. Bill is right here. Wave your hand, Bill. He's awesome, so go talk to him. Okay, are we going back to campaign? I can't wait to see this next one. Jeremy and Bobby, hold your hats.
Yeah, hey Bobby, I just got here. You better not be wasting my time. I had to rearrange my whole entire schedule for you today. Okay, there you are, I see you, bye.
Ta-da!
What do you mean by ta-da? I've been to the Oaks before. It's great, but I thought you had something new to share.
I do, I promise. Come on, let me show you.
Man, this better be good.
Absolutely. Hey, you remember those leadership conferences we used to host here in Ellis County?
Yeah.
Well, I've got some great news for you. Unite Ellis, I've been talking to their leadership, and the Oaks. What do you think about hosting another one in 2025?
Wait, what? This is huge news. What is it called?
I know, it's gonna be great. It will be called
Okay, we are so excited. First of all, if Bobby and Jeremy could stand and give a bow, like, can we give props? Like, for all your acting deals in the future, I can serve as your agent, but that right there is when I call someone, I'm like, I need a favor. And they're like, ugh, you know. So anyways, I absolutely love that. So who in here pre-COVID ever came to one of the leadership conferences? This is when John Maxwell and their team came out. Whoever came? Okay, so some of you, I know there's a lot of new people in the county, which, by the way, I meant to mention this earlier. Did y'all see Ellis County, the 8th in the nation on growth rate? 8th. In the nation. Okay, all the more reason why what we're talking about is important. So yes, this was something we did 3 years in a row, I think. Yeah, 3, where we just brought the leaders together. COVID hit, everything had to start over. And since we've been having County Convene, which I think this is our 5th one maybe, people are like, we want more time, and I keep inching it, a little bit further. And I'm like, I'm not doing a conference. We're not doing a conference. And then finally, we got there. So next February, can we go back to that date? No, we're not going back to that date. So Thursday, February 27th, mark your calendars. We want you to be there. We're gonna make it big and awesome and just continue to empower and equip and support you as leaders and have a chance for all of our leaders to come together.